aboard with him. The Knoxville Nationals for the 42nd time. It's green.
And dude got that jump off the bottom. There he goes.
The hardest part for Danny Lasoski tonight, Kenny, is going to be just surviving the beating and the banging he's going to take in that car.
Just the physical strain it's going to put on his body. And here, and this man right here is not going to make it easier on him. Steve Kinser looks like he's going to maybe clear Danny around the top off turn 2 there.
Steve Kinser has won this race 11 times, and he wants it one more. Tyler Walker upstairs. That's Craig Delansky on the bottom in a battle for 5th. Just in front of them in 4th is Donny Schaltz.
You can really see the track getting shiny in the middle now. You know, we got 2 definite grooves, the top and the bottom. When you run the bottom, you got to keep that left rear tire in the moisture coming off the turn to get the forward bite.
So if you go through that middle, you better be headed all the way to the cushion.
Well, it's going to get more and more like that, but here we see, Schaltz switches grooves and goes right back up to the top once Saldana took the bottom away from him.
The Eagle Raceway 17 of Joey Saldana.
See how Saldana had that left rear in the moisture coming off and got a good forward bite?
Walker and Delansky still fighting it out for 5th. Delansky on the bottom, and already you can see that brake rotor glowing as he works those brakes on the bottom. Kinser, your leader. This is that fight for 5th.
We're asking every strain and every piece of equipment on these automobiles for these 30 laps because we can replace everything after this. This is the biggest race of the year.
There's a look at the top 10 after lap 5 in the scheduled 30. Hodnett holds down 10th. The King continues to lead. But Lasoski, the winningest driver on this racetrack in history, running in 2nd. Now the fight for 3rd as Schaltz closes up on Joey Saldana. His father Joe won back in 1970, and look at the dude coming after the King.
Okay, the King took the bottom away from Danny there and got Danny up in the middle, but we know that Danny will come back because this is his racetrack.
And that fight for 3rd. Schaltz is trapped in that middle, Kenny.
Yeah, it's looking like everybody all of a sudden is kind of liking that bottom. You know, everybody's looking down at that bottom, but when, like here, Schaltz doesn't have a choice. He's got to go to the top because Saldana's got the bottom.
No rear view mirrors on these cars. You have to listen for the engine noise coming alongside.
You got to listen, and you just kind of got to know. You know where they were at last time you saw them, and you just kind of got to figure where they're going to be.
There's Walker, and there's Jack Hottenshield in the 5, the Wild Child in the Guy Forbrook tuned car. Shepard getting ready to get lapped by the King. The Quaker State 11 working beautifully up top.
Okay, we're seeing Danny's kind of committed to the bottom here so far. We'll just have to see if that's going to pay off or not.
They've just passed Ed Lynch in the multicolored 2L. Danny really bouncing around the bottom and gets kicked up off the bottom groove.
We've driven a lot of different race cars, and these cars are very physical. Your body really takes a beating. 30 laps around a half-mile track, you wouldn't think 15 miles would put a beating on you, but it does.
Saldana slipping back. There's Schaefer, the Dennis Roth car. They're fighting it out for 5th. And Delansky working on Schaltz for 3rd. Good run around the outside for Craig.
Yeah, but see, we got a yellow.
Kinser, the 3-time winner of the Nationals, is around. Carl Kinser, his father, discussing. He's won this race more times than anybody. Too hard a tire, not enough traction. Too soft a tire, too much, and it burns off.
It's a fine line there, but if we can keep going and the track gets a little bit harder and we don't have the yellow flags to let the softer tires cool off, it could definitely work into his favor.
Carl Kinser.
He's not stressed or happy.
No, he's not. That shows you how much pressure there is to win this race. Steve Kinser, as we said, hasn't won this race since 1995. Danny won it last year and also won it in 1998. And I don't think we can underline enough how miraculous it is that Danny Lasoski is even racing in this race, doing as well as he is.
The fact that he's there is amazing.
Green flag, we're back at it.
And Danny jumps up on the top.
Screaming down the backstretch and into 3. And look at the J.D. Beinreiter 20 is coming hard.
Yeah, these positions are probably, and then we switch positions again.
Look at the slide jump. Look at that.
Oh, man, is this good racing.
You think this race means anything to these two champions?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's like it's the last lap now at the biggest race, which it is.
Kinser's probably figuring Danny didn't flip hard enough right about now.
Oh, I'll tell you what, they're both wanting it real bad right now, but they're both having one heck of a good time. It's just the way they keep switching positions. Danny will go to the bottom, then go to the top. Steve will do one thing. Halfway right now, lap 15.
Scott Kirkin, the crew chief for Steve Kinser. Jimmy Carr, the crew chief for Danny Lasoski. Hard to find two any better than those two.
Oh, most definitely, and they both worked with the drivers long enough that they know what the driver's thinking.
Obviously, they've given their men two of the best prepared race cars here tonight, and it's up to their drivers to figure out how to get to the checkered flag. There's Joey Saldana. Now, we've heard about the tire situation. Joey's working on the bottom. Schaefer gets him on the outside.
Well, already being halfway through and back to 7th, I'd say the tire's not working just like he'd hoped to, but a lot can happen still. We get a yellow flag, close the field up, you never know.
Lance DeWeese on the bottom, and Al Hamilton's 77, the legendary car owner out of the Northeast. And it looks like Jack Hotshield in Forbrook's 5, the work impact entry right in the middle. I guarantee you one thing, the Wild Child has a foot to the floor.
If he's in that car, it's his foot's to the floor, that's for sure.
Hotshield working the cushion, trying to get around Saldana. Joey through the middle. Good slide job action there in 3 and 4.
Yep. Hod turn right back down, come underneath him though.
He's up to 9. Welcome back to the 42nd annual Knoxville Nationals. Steve Kinser continues to lead. Ralph Shaheen, Kenny Schrader, and Bobby Gerald with you. And the King is driving like a king tonight.
He's driving like a king, but let me tell you what, the dude is right there and waiting for one mistake. And here comes potential is when you come up on the lap traffic because you never know what they're going to do.
And Mark Kinser is going to be one of those cars. And let's remind you, if you're not a regular follower of the Outlaws, Lasoski had a vicious crash a few weeks ago at Williams Grove. This is his first race back in the car. And a lot of people didn't even think he'd be here, and he's having a miraculous run tonight. Schaltz, though, is closing in from 3rd.
Well, Danny's didn't even make the decision until Wednesday night, and when he made a few hot laps to see if he was going to be able to drive or not.
Having trouble with his vision, broken ribs, broken ankle. Danny Lasoski is a beat-up race car driver than J.D. Rider 20L.
He's got bigger problems coming, and that's Donny Schaltz is coming fast.
And a great race car is that 15, the Parker Stores machine, and he's going to give Danny everything he can handle here in this battle for second.
Kenny Woodruff has won this race before. He's a stellar World Outlaw crew chief, and he's given Donny everything he needs here.
Donny finished second in this race back in 2000 to Mark Kinser. Was one of the favorites last year before having a big wreck on the opening lap, and he wants it.
5 laps to go and a lot of lap traffic, which Donny has cleared, Danny, and he's in the second. Now, has he got time to catch the king up there?
Danny got hung up behind Mark Kinser. Now he's got to squeeze. Look at this, 4 wide.
4 wide, and Danny goes back into second place, and so tried to slide Donny, but didn't quite make it.
Boy, there wasn't much room between Lasoski and Lynch, but Danny cleared out and got back into second. What a great race this is. Meanwhile, all this is just helping the King pull away.
Oh, you know, it's not like you can look in your rearview mirror in these cars, but as long as he's not seeing anybody in peripheral vision, he's just hoping that they're back there battling one another. He comes around to get the 2 to go, and Donny is up there with clean racetrack, though, so this isn't a gimme.
Donny Schaltz can see the King in front of him and lap traffic. This could help.
This could be big. Look at Donny's going to be closing in here. Another car goes around Steve. A lap car goes around Steve, and Donny is right to him.
And that's actually a break for Donny because he had more time to figure out which way to go. White flag is out in Doug Clark's hands. Here we go, $125,000. Oh, look at that.
Steve, big time sideways. Got it gathered back up, though, and he trucks into 3. He can see the flag now.
That was Delansky getting around Lasoski for 3rd. For the 12th time, Steve Kinser has won the Knoxville Nationals. He'll take home $125,000 and one more mark on the legendary resume of the king of the Outlaws.
It's amazing. I believe 47 years old.
Headed towards 50, and he just won the biggest race in the world. Hasn't been to victory lane here since 1995. It's going to be a good one you're not going to want to miss. Look at the battle for the biggest sprint car race in the world. Danny Lasoski in the 20, sliding in front of Steve Kinser, who pays him right back. What a race, Kenny.
Oh, those two, they've been in a fierce battle for the World of Outlaw Point Championship until Danny got hurt. The one's leading the deal.
A lot of skill and courage having at it in that battle for the win, but the win goes to Steve Kinser. Bobby's with the king.
Steve Kinser's 12th Knoxville Nationals. And he may not climb any fences. When you're 46 years old, you don't climb too many fences. But the water's throwing up in the air, and here he is. It's a familiar place for you, Steve. Steve, what was the key to your 12th win? Get a little wind.
Well, I tell you, it wasn't working the best in the world, but we just hung on and ran as hard as we could.
Danny Lasoski showed you the nose a couple of times, got in there and slid you. Donny Schaltz closed up on you there at the end. But did you feel like you were in control the whole time?
No, I didn't. I felt bad the whole time.
Woo! Steve, 46 years old. Is it any better when it gets sweeter?
Yeah, I wish I was 46. Yeah! Ha
Can you climb the fence now?
Hell no, I can't climb it.
No fence climb?
We hadn't got through the first corner the last 2 years here, and it's glad to finish one.
You think it means anything to him?
Oh, I tell you what, that's a lot of emotion for Steve Kinser.
He's won it 11 times, and he's never been that excited about it. As you take a look at the rest of the lineup, let's head back downstairs to Bobby J. No doubt about it, one of the best races ever at Knoxville, and Danny has nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, Dan.